Dexter Morgan may be fiction, but his dark passenger is anything but. What if I told you the writers behind Dexter pulled directly from real killers, monsters who stalked America and shocked the world? Today, we're diving into the terrifying truth. The killers who inspired Dexter, the cases he might have hunted, and why the line between TV drama and reality is disturbingly thin. Dexter's Code of Harry wasn't random. It mirrored the chilling reality of men who lived double lives, fathers, neighbors, even law enforcement, hiding unspeakable crimes. The genius of Dexter was that it blurred truth and fiction, and some of the show's darkest villains were shaped by real murderers. Take Ted Bundy. The charm, the manipulation, the way women trusted him before he struck. Doesn't that sound like Trinity? Bundy lived a double life, appearing normal while carrying out atrocities across multiple states. Dexter's writers admitted Bundy's psychology influenced the way Dexter blended in. Then there's BTK, Dennis Rader, a family man, a church leader, a respected neighbor, all while secretly binding, torturing, and killing victims for decades. His obsession with control and taunting authorities echoes through the Ice Truck Killer storyline in Season 1. Just like BTK, the Ice Truck Killer left clues behind, almost daring investigators to catch him. And what about Jeffrey Dahmer? The obsession with trophies, body parts, and a disturbing need for control mirrors killers Dexter faced. Like Rudy Cooper, Dahmer blurred the line between obsession and ritual, something Dexter himself struggled with in later seasons. But here's where things get darker. The New York Ripper introduced in Dexter. Resurrection wasn't just a random creation. Fans quickly noticed how his eerie whispers and cat-and-mouse games felt eerily familiar. They echoed real-life predators like David Berkowitz, the son of Sam, who used haunting notes and a ghostly persona to terrify New York in the 1970s. And it doesn't stop there. The showrunners borrowed fragments from countless cases, Ed Kemper's intelligence and chilling calm, Jack the Ripper's theatrical brutality, the Zodiac Killer's puzzles and coded taunts. Dexter wasn't just a serial killer hunter. He was a reflection of the evil that actually walked among us. So let's play the ultimate what if. If Dexter Morgan existed in real life, which killers would have made his list? BTK, Dennis Rader. His hidden family life and decades of deception would have made him the perfect dark passenger target. Jeffrey Dahmer. Dexter's disgust at Dahmer's grotesque rituals practically writes itself. David Berkowitz, son of Sam, a killer who taunted New York through letters. Dexter would have ended that nightmare fast. The Zodiac Killer. Dexter loved puzzles, but this one still remains unsolved. Imagine Dexter trying to crack it. Jack the Ripper, the most famous unsolved case in history. Dexter's precision and code versus the Ripper's chaos? That showdown is legendary. By tying Dexter's fictional code to these real-world monsters, the series stays hauntingly relevant because audiences realize these killers aren't just TV villains. They were real. Here's where the tension peaks. Dexter works because it satisfies a dark craving. Viewers secretly cheer for him because he does what the justice system often couldn't. BTK wasn't caught for 30 years. The Zodiac is still unidentified. Jack the Ripper disappeared into history. But Dexter's code, it was swift, merciless, and clean. That's why fans say, "I wish Dexter was real." It's not about bloodlust. It's about justice denied. Yet, this is where fantasy crashes into reality. Real killers aren't like Dexter. They don't follow a code. They don't pick deserving victims. They target the innocent. They destroy lives for power, control, or twisted desires. And maybe that's why Dexter has lasted so long in pop culture. He's the anti-killer, the fantasy of someone turning evil back on itself. When we watch him stalk Trinity or the Ice Truck Killer, what we're really seeing is a world where monsters don't get away. The truth is scarier. The monsters did get away. Some never got caught. Some lived right next door. And that's why blending Dexter with real crime stories isn't just entertaining, it's haunting. So, what do you think? Did Dexter's writers cross the line by pulling so much from real-life cases, or did it make the show even more powerful? And if Dexter Morgan really existed, who do you think would have been his first real-life target? Drop your thoughts below. I'll be pinning the most chilling theories in the comments. If you enjoyed this dive into the dark inspiration behind Dexter Morgan, smash that like button and make sure you're subscribed for more true crime breakdowns and Dexter universe theories. And if you're still watching right now, comment Dark Passenger so I know you're one of the real ones.
I want to show you one of my dearest passions. Holy shit.
You really like serial killers.
I pride myself on finding the best of the best in every field, so why not death?
What if I told you that some of the most terrifying killers in Dexter's history might have secretly crossed paths with Leon Prater? Dexter. Resurrection gave us one of the darkest storylines in the entire franchise with Prater's cult-like gatherings of serial killers. And if this group has been around longer than we think, it opens up a chilling possibility that killers from Dexter's past might have attended those meetings. In this video, I'm ranking the 5 killers who are the most likely candidates to have met Leon Prater, from least likely to most likely. And trust me, some of the evidence is shocking. One of them even left behind a trophy in Prater's possession, and it changes everything we thought we knew about Dexter. Leon Prater's circle of killers was introduced as something new, but the seeds were always there. According to Mia LaPierre, she'd been part of the group for 4 years. And even before that, the gatherings had already existed for a few years. That suggests the group has been active for 6 to 9 years before Resurrection. So the question is simple. Which past killers fit the profile of a Prater recruit? To qualify, they'd need to be prolific, with multiple victims, an identifiable modus operandi, and enough notoriety for Prater to track them down. Gang members, hitmen, and traffickers don't make the cut. We're talking about true serial killers. With that in mind, let's rank the 5 most likely killers who might have sat at Prater's table. Number 5. Brian Moser, the ice truck killer. On paper, Brian looks like a dream candidate. At least 20 kills over 13 years, a clean psychological profile, and a flair for theatrics. He's the kind of killer Prater would have been drawn to. But here's the problem. The timeline kills this theory. If we exclude Brian's ice truck killer days during Season 1, his confirmed kills drop to just 4. That's not enough to impress Prater. And for Brian to even qualify, the gatherings would have needed to exist for at least 17 years, way longer than we know them to have been around. There's another clue that shuts the door. When Prater talks to Dexter about Brian, he only refers to him as the ice truck killer. If they had crossed paths earlier, surely he would have mentioned Brian's days as the NHI killer too. Add in Prater's comment that maybe if the ice truck killer had someone to talk to, he wouldn't have taken his own life. And it's clear the two never met. So Brian is our number 5. Fascinating on paper, but practically impossible. Number 4. Walter Kenny, the Tooth Fairy.
Good morning, Walter.
Keep saying that, and one day you might be right.
Walter Kenny, introduced in Season 6, was one of the deadliest killers Dexter ever faced. With at least 16 victims over 3 decades, Kenny strangled prostitutes and kept their teeth as trophies. He sounds like a perfect fit for Prater's network, but here's why it doesn't work. Kenny's unbearable personality earned him the nickname World's Oldest Creep from Dexter. Prater's gatherings seemed almost friendly, almost like networking events for killers. Kenny doesn't fit that culture. And then there's the timeline. 15 of Walter's 16 murders happened in the 1980s. For him to have been part of the gatherings then, the group would have needed to exist for 40 years. That's way too far back. The only alternative is that Prater tracked Kenny down decades after his spree, when he resurfaced with a fresh murder in 2011. But realistically, without that lead, there's no way Prater and Charlie would have found him. So while the Tooth Fairy is terrifying enough to belong in Prater's circle, the math makes him an unlikely candidate. Number 3, Oliver Saxon, the brain surgeon.
What happened?
I don't know, I just got here.
Cassie and I, we were supposed to have a date tonight.
I'm sorry.
Now things get interesting. Daniel Vogel, known to us as Oliver Saxon, had been killing his entire life. As a child, he murdered his own brother. At 17, he set a fire that killed 7 kids. And as an adult, he racked up at least 16 victims before Dexter finally stopped him in 2013. On paper, Saxon checks every box. Highly prolific, active for decades, and the gatherings would have only needed to exist for 10 years for him to qualify. So far, so good. But here's the catch. Saxon wasn't known as a serial killer until season 8. Before then, he had no alias, no recognition, nothing to draw Prater's attention, unless Prater had insider knowledge about Dr. Evelyn Vogel's family secrets. It's hard to imagine how he would have even known Saxon existed. And Saxon's behavior seals it. He was desperate for his mother's guidance on how to live with his dark passenger. If he had already been attending Prater's meetings, surrounded by like-minded killers, wouldn't he have gotten that advice before? The absence of brain surgeon trophies in Prater's collection also says a lot. So Saxon ranks higher than Brian and Walter, but still not likely. Number 2, Arthur Mitchell, the Trinity Killer.
It's already over.
Now here's where things get really fascinating. Arthur Mitchell is by far the deadliest killer Dexter ever faced, with at least 279 victims between 1979 and 2009. If anyone fits Prater's profile, it's Trinity. And there's a smoking gun. In Resurrection Episode 4, we see one of Trinity's hammers in Prater's trophy collection. That hammer shouldn't exist outside Dexter's possession, unless Arthur attended a gathering and left it behind. Think about it. Special Agent Lundy had been tracking Trinity for years, even before the Bureau acknowledged him as a real case. If one of Prater's contacts picked up on Lundy's notes, Charlie could have tracked Arthur down. That would explain how a hammer wound up in the collection. But here's the doubt. When Dexter, disguised as Kyle Butler, confessed to killing, Arthur's reaction was pure relief. Almost like it was the first time he'd ever been able to share his secret. Would he have acted like that if he already had a safe space with Prater's group? Probably not. Still, Trinity's hammer in Prater's possession makes him one of the strongest candidates for attendance. Number 1, Kurt Caldwell.
Angela? Came as soon as I could. What's going on? Did you find him? Tell me he's okay.
And finally, the most likely candidate to have attended Prater's gatherings, Kurt Caldwell from Dexter, New Blood. Over 25 years, Kurt claimed at least 32 victims, perfectly fitting Prater's criteria, and the timeline is flawless. The gatherings only needed to exist for a few years before New Blood, which we know they did. His geographic proximity seals it. Kurt operated just a few hours from Prater's New York base. If young women kept disappearing from a nearby town, it would have been impossible for Prater to ignore. Now, why don't we see any Kurt trophies in Prater's room? Simple. Kurt's trophies were entire preserved bodies, not exactly something you can bring along to a meeting. It's also possible that Kurt attended once, refused to part with a body, and never got invited back. And there's one more chilling clue. Right before Dexter kills him, Kurt reacts with shock when he hears about Dexter's justice code. His reaction feels strange, almost too strong, like he's heard other killers justify themselves before, and Dexter's excuse really stood out. If Kurt had met other killers at Prater's gatherings, that moment makes perfect sense. So Kurt Caldwell ranks number 1. So there you have it. Brian Moser, Walter Kenny, Oliver Saxon, Arthur Mitchell, and Kurt Caldwell. The 5 killers most likely to have sat at Leon Prater's table. For me, Kurt is the most realistic candidate. But the Trinity hammer in Prater's possession is still the single most haunting clue of all. It suggests that some of Dexter's deadliest enemies might have quietly crossed paths in the shadows long before resurrection. But what do you think? Did I rank them right, or did I miss someone? Drop your pick in the comments. I want to see who you believe Leon Prater might have invited. And if you're still watching, drop Prater's table in the comments so I know you're part of the real Dexter community.
Would you want to come back as a ghost?
I would love to come back in any shape or form,
Okay.
whether I'm alive or I'm a ghost or it's something else. It'd be so fun. This character is Candy. I may just be her for Halloween for fun.
The Dexter Resurrection finale didn't just shock fans, it left Kristen Ritter absolutely stunned. In the final episode, Injustice for All, everything came crashing together. Brian Moser's jaw-dropping return, Angel Batista's tragic fate, Prater's ultimate downfall, and a chilling tease of what Season 2 could bring. But the question everyone is still asking, is Lady Vengeance really gone?
Shut up. Lady Vengeance. If I were a guy, I wouldn't be Sir Vengeance.
So, what is all this? What is Prater getting out of it?
How about we talk tomorrow?
Stay with me, because we're breaking down every twist, every scream-worthy moment, and why this finale just might be the redemption Dexter fans have waited nearly 20 years for. Let's start with Kristen Ritter, the actress behind Lady Vengeance, and a die-hard Dexter fan long before she joined the cast.
And I know that you are a fan because I know you're watching these episodes live.
Yes, I'm watching these episodes live, and I'm watching like no other shows. So when it comes out on Friday, I'm like, gotta watch my Dexter episode. And I watched the original show as well. Big fan of Season 1 with Ice Truck Killer, and Season 2, and then the Rita situation. I was in.
Season 4.
Yeah.
I mean, Rita.
I was deep on that show.
Watching the finale live, she couldn't hide her emotions. She laughed, she screamed, she admitted to having an anxiety attack, and her biggest question,
The episodes are fantastic. Episode 10 was an intense episode. The tension is through the roof.
and it wasn't just the shocks, it was the way this finale balanced character, story, and raw emotion. For many, Resurrection has been a second chance. After the mixed reaction to New Blood's ending, this finale delivered what fans had been craving: closure, nostalgia, and a bold new direction.
Being back on a boat is a resurrection of sorts. But it's different this time. Harry taught me the code to keep me from getting caught, to control my urges.
One of the most electrifying moments came when Brian Moser, the ice truck killer from Season 1, appeared in Dexter's darkest hour. Trapped inside Prater's vault with Batista's corpse lying beside him, Dexter's grief summoned his brother's ghostly presence.
Oops, it did it again.
It was a callback to Dexter's roots, but also a clear reminder of how far he's come. Unlike in Season 6, Dexter didn't give in to Brian's philosophy. Instead, he rejected that darkness, honoring Batista's memory and showing real emotional growth. Then there was Harrison. Fans waited years to see him become more than just Dexter's troubled son, and the finale delivered. Harrison didn't just help Dexter escape, he became his father's equal.
To me, Prater killed Batista. And I'm next.
What can I do?
From using M99 to save the day to standing shoulder to shoulder against Prater, this was the father-son partnership fans have been waiting for since Season 4. Even Batista's controversial death hit with unexpected weight. Michael C. Hall's anguished scream when he found his old friend's body was raw and heartbreaking. It proved that Dexter, once defined by cold calculation, has finally learned to feel genuine grief.
There's no coming back from this. No God that can save him.
I need you to know. I didn't kill Maria. Or Dukes. I may be the bearer of a butcher, but I promise you I didn't kill them. It's your fault. And now I'm dying. Because of you. Just like they did. I'm sorry. Dexter Morgan.
And then there was Leon Prater. Portrayed with icy menace, he wasn't just another villain. He was a twisted mirror of Dexter himself. Where Dexter channeled trauma into a warped sense of justice, Prater used his obsession to exploit and control. His underground vault of serial killers was one of the most disturbing set pieces in the franchise, a museum of horror that exposed just how far he had fallen. But the moment that floored Kristen Ritter and fans everywhere was Dexter's refusal to take a blood slide after killing Prater. For someone like Prater, being deemed not worth remembering was the ultimate humiliation. It was savage, poetic, and it told us everything about where Dexter's mindset is now. When Dexter finally triggered the alarms, exposing Prater's vault to the NYPD, the series opened up endless possibilities. Dozens of files, trophies, and preserved victims were revealed. It wasn't just a twist, it was the perfect setup for season 2. And once again, Ritter couldn't believe what she was seeing. The final moments sealed this finale as one of the greatest in Dexter history. Standing on a boat, a clear callback to season 4's devastating ending, Dexter reflected on who he truly is. His closing line, "I'm Dexter Morgan. I'm exactly who I need to be, exactly who you want me to be." It was chilling, powerful, and for fans like Ritter, absolutely stunning. After years of watching Dexter wrestle with guilt, shame, and self-loathing, the finale gave us a version of Dexter who is at peace with his dark passenger and ready to wield it on his own terms. For Kristen Ritter, watching this as both a fan and a star was surreal. She praised the writing, the performances, and the emotional gut punch of every twist. And her lingering question, "Is Lady Vengeance really gone?" keeps the door wide open for her return. This finale didn't just tie up loose ends. It honored Dexter's legacy, gave Harrison a future, and exposed a criminal network that could fuel multiple new seasons. For the first time in years, fans are united. This is the ending they deserved. So what do you think? Did the finale finally redeem Dexter's legacy? And is Lady Vengeance really dead? Or is Kristen Ritter hinting at something more? Drop your theories in the comments, and if you're still watching, write "Stunned Ritter" so we know you made it to the end. Make sure to hit like and subscribe for more deep dives into Dexter Resurrection.